300 Tapes was created, it's created by some storytellers and actors, and also a choreographer, and also a sound artist, a sound design artist who works primarily with analog tape and with radio installations, so radio frequencies. So it's a combination of something kind of like theater, kind of storytelling, kind of dance, and kind of like a sound installation. So the piece itself, it's performed in, there's 3 different seating banks, so it's in the round. And indeed, the whole performance sort of moves around, and the sound design is all around you. So it's meant to feel, actually, like you're inside a tape recorder, like you're inside the headphones. And that the performers also wear headphones, and they have these stories that they're telling us, and they're speaking them as they're coming up on the tape. So they're actually listening to tapes and speaking those stories as they hear them in their headphones. And the piece really does feel like you're in that environment with them. So it's meant to feel like that kind of sort of pretty dynamic, intimate sort of space. And it actually continues to get more and more condensed and intimate as the piece goes on. So it's like being in a tape recorder, and the volume adjusting so that you listen even closer and closer the longer the show goes on, and understand a bit more about it based on how it's changing. There are 300 tapes on the stage.
And when you say tapes, like?
We're talking mini cassette magnetic tapes. And each of the 3 performers has 100 tapes each. And what they were asked to do was record snippets of their life stories on these tapes. So each of them have an archived library of tapes that are their life stories. From the time they were born until now, the stories that sort of came to them as they were asked to do this. So what they're speaking is stories from their lives. And sometimes they're speaking stories from their own lives, sometimes they're speaking stories from each other's lives, and that sort of shifting identity is also part of the piece. So one of the sort of rules, they set up a few rules, and one of the rules is that everything that's said has to be on a tape. But that said, there's no way that they can get through all 300 tapes in a performance. So each of the performances, there are a few wildcard sections where they can choose another story, or when another story is chosen for them. So yeah, there's some pieces that you hear over and over again and that are really a part of how the piece progresses, and then there's some pieces that are sort of substituted each night. So it is a little bit different each night, but it's always something that's on the tape. So it's like the archive. It's like they're not making up any stories that didn't happen to them. It's like if I have to choose a memory as opposed to make up a story that hasn't happened to me, they just have to choose one of the memories that's on those banks. They've got these little banks of tapes that they choose tapes from. So they choose different things every night, but there's always something that's already been recorded from their lives.